Good morning, everybody. All right. Depending on the markets, we're still stuck in the range. And as we've been talking about this week, prices prior week went up here, made a little peekaboo high, back down to the bottom of the range, jiggling around. Move up yesterday. Couldn't get all the way back to the top of the range. So we're waiting for tomorrow's data. We'll see if momentum picks up again to the upside. And pointing out here the way things moved up from this point and from this point, and now we see from here it's stalled right away and it's going sideways. So for the moment, we have potentially a red bar ignored for the moment. Things have turned around yesterday, and so we've got a correction through time, a erratic erection through time that's going on. And so as those numbers come out tomorrow, yesterday's turned out to be pretty much a yawn. Things got going, it was just a technical bounce. I don't really put much weight into any of those inflation numbers tomorrow. I don't think they were meaningful myself, but bottom of the range, traders buying down there, things didn't fall apart. The gap down or gapped up. Buying the gap fill was bought, up it went, and here we are. So today we'll see. Things are down a little bit, not a big deal at all. You can see the cursor on the daily bar right at the top of the range. So we'll see if this recovers. Here's the pre-market chart, this whip around that's going on here. We'll see if this recovers, this low right here. And see where it's beginning to stabilize, see if it comes back up, and then if it can get to the bottom of the range, or whether, if it doesn't bounce from here, we've got 20 so minutes before the open, but whenever it does at the open, it might go down back here. So, we'll just have to see what's going to play out, trading ranges, and just bouncing back and forth. All right. Interesting thing here I noticed today is, over the weekend, you see the way this, obviously you can see the way this is perking up here. So with all this anticipation of the Fed cutting, now they're saying May, June, it's a moving target. Over the weekend, this looked like, I mentioned this in the weekend letter, like, all right, this looks like it's starting to form a head and shoulders top, whereas it perked higher here. And it's like, why are short-term interest rates going up? And then they came all the way back down again. And so I said, oh, maybe it's going to form a head and shoulders as this consensus is growing, as a moving target about them lowering interest rates. And I see this morning it's up here. So, at this moment, what does it mean? Nothing other than an observation that why is it moving up? In addition, we've got the, we talked about it bouncing from here, and it is. There was unfilled gap and support. So looking for interest rates to move up, but it's within a trading range. So it's not affecting the markets. I mean, the markets are just, as I said, technical moves between support and resistance, and maybe tomorrow will change that in some significant way. We'll see. So as the 10-year gets closer to where it broke down from, give or take, somewhere in here, maybe it rolls back over again. This may be something that could give some bias intraday as to the direction of the markets if this continues higher, or maybe it rolls back over again. When things are in trading ranges like this, you just play them as they come. Like yesterday, picked off a nice move in the spiders down at the I don't know if I got it on this chart, on the intraday chart. I can just show everybody. it's set up. Anyway, down here was right at the open, which you can see right here at the open. As it came down there, we anticipated a turn, and we got a little retest. Really beautiful kind of turn pattern. We wish they all were so clean. They're not always as clean as that, where they pull back to a support area and you get a pivot and a retest, and then up and away. So that was a great little move. Happened in the Nasdaq too, and the Russell followed up a little bit. So you know, not much happening there in the spiders, as you can see. Let me see SPX if things have changed here at all since what I wrote down before. That's the same. That doesn't look good, right? SPX. All right. All right. So I like when the strike is above a whole number. 3502. And that might change as if things come down much. I don't think markets will fall very much from here. I don't see any reason for it, but this came up a lot. 35. So probably either one works, but 5205, I think, should be the best. No reason for it to come up here today. I mean, there was a bullish bar, and again, top of the trading range on the 60-minute chart. So I think more likely to consolidate up there. We'll see how it deals with that top of the trading range. The Dow, it was the underperformer, but that perked up. It's into the resistance. Same story there, just sloppy trading range back and forth. You can see the consolidation on the weekly chart. So some indecisiveness after an extended run. No real damage yet, just a time correction. The Russell pulled back a little bit more than the others. Hit support, buyers step up. Pretty classical kind of patterns. Support, resistance. Just consolidating here. Which way is it going to go? We'll wait, see, get some more information tomorrow. Some other markets pull back to support. Buyers should begin to step up here. Right? Unfilled gap. My little alert got tagged yesterday. See if that makes the turn. SMHs. Ideally this should have come down more. And so the market turned around. Let's see where it's at here. Not a big deal. So after a big wide range red bar like that, it's extended on the weekly. You really want a pattern like this to come down. The 20 is lined up with this unfilled gap, like pullbacks into here. And even though you don't know, it might get if it's going to make a new high, but at least it's in a demand area where buyers are going to step up theoretically, and it'll bounce from there. And the distance to the area of that big red bar makes sense for a short-term trade. And as we look at this on the, we'll see how this plays out, but look at this, kind of, is it going to form a head and shoulders? Again, trading ranges create a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. So as the data comes in and we get more bars, which is going to be part of today's conversation and MT Live, be a good one not to miss. We'll see. In any event, something like this, in an uptrend, most of the time needs to deal with more consolidation, whips up and down before it'll do something more to the upside if that's in the cards. Financials, we talked about early in the week, they're grinding, but continue to grind higher. So that's a big plus. Look at those moving averages, just one over the other. Angles of ascent are almost the same. The distance between them stays relatively the same. That's clearly a bullish trend. I don't like these types that grind like that because they're just so slow, but it's certainly positive. Uh, Energy continues to grind its way higher. Let's see what crude oil is doing this morning here. Up 2%, but it's just a mess. Again, I mean, during earlier in the week, my thought was, hey, XLE is going up. Either this price of oil is high enough, and those buying, if they're considering that, believe that at this price, it's going to be sustainable and maybe go higher. We'll see how today ends, if it can retrace all the way back up here. And those energy stocks will begin to outperform. Gold, as you know, had a monster move. What does that mean? Does it mean inflation's not going away? Is that why the 13-week is inching back up again? So it's intermarket relationships raise questions as to which way a thing's going to unfold here. In any event, this is breaking out, and it suggests it's going to go higher by a pullback, by a consolidation. Silver underperformed, but made the same kind of a move. Bitcoin, ignore a big red bar like that. I mean, that's super bullish. Yeah, it's extended. The buyers keep stepping up, and assume it'll keep going up until it stops. It's up. It cleared this resistance area, so it looks like 80,000. It should hit 80,000. Unless it breaks through back down here under 70 on a closing basis, I would assume this is going to keep grinding its way up to the whole number. Ethereum, they're talking the next ETF, and maybe that's what continues to help pump these things up. But that pulled back a little bit, and yeah, I think today probably more of a back and fill kind of a day, and transports getting more or nothing while we wait for the next numbers to come out tomorrow. And the dollar's probably, let's see, probably up a little bit. Well, it's down a little. It's really kind of unchanged. Nothing going on there. So we'll pick our points during the trading day for intraday trades. We'll see what stocks look like. They'll continue to move one way or another. And we'll wait for them. Big news day tomorrow and see which way things might go. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, Greg, I know they're talking about erythium, but ETHE is an ETF, which, made me wonder for the longest time, why was Bitcoin having such a hard time getting theirs when erythium was already one? Like, I didn't get it. I just kind of thought that the regulators were just stonewalling them. But then you get Fidelity and BlackRock involved and Wall Street and greed, and they won. They got what they wanted. 11 new ETFs. All right, alarms going off. EXCM, up alarm going off. We did a put spread on this yesterday. Paul, alarm, little bull flag consolidation after a gap up. My 98 alarm went off up here. Alex just gave a link to the futures. This is the ETF, of course. A big bottoming pattern. Look, it's an inverse head and shoulders with a gap breakout over the next neckline. You hear noise from me? I don't have any noise. The air conditioner's running. Yeah, I don't hear anything, Kevin. All right, so this back to this, just a beautiful, beautiful gap from a inverse head and shoulders. So that's a very, very bullish bottoming pattern. And now it's gapping over 5 days. Target 200. So keep an eye on that today. I see oil up, XOP, XLE. We're in a couple of them. We're in PSX, directional and put spread. We're in below, bull call debit spread. We're in COP, put spread. It's gapping up, looks higher now. Looks like it can, go to low 118s. So those are all doing good. And that's it on my gappers. Let's go to earnings. And then I have a ton of breakout candidates here that we compiled yesterday. We actually bought half lot of L right into the close. You can do the other half over yesterday's high. On vacation, we're in a half lot. I just posted Marriott put spread over yesterday's high. Hey, Aichi, remember we talked about POW versus whatever, ANF? And we were explaining why I like this buy setup better. Getting a nice $2 gap up here. So if you're in it, good for you. All right, earnings. WSM 254. Wow. That looks like an all-time high. Williams Sonoma, all-time high. I'm assuming I'm not going back on data. Yeah, look at that. What Greg mentioned, our MT Live today, bar by bar analysis. This is an amazing downside shakeout on a monthly chart. This was a, sloppy retest, but fundamentals kicked in and said, I don't want to go over, I don't want to go under $110. So I don't know what to do with it now, but maybe check some of his cousins. Wolf 272. All right, there you go. Wolf. Wolf is an idea for, let's see if it can hold the gap. Maybe 5, 10, 15-minute high, bottoming pattern. VRA gapping down below the 200, possible gap and snap. You got to see what it does at the open. TH 941, bullish gap, but no pattern. This is a dollar stock, OTC, no interest, OQD. It's sloppy, but that's 30-minute high candidate breakout. GBLI, no volume. Wow. Up and down, $3 stock, no interest. It looks like that might go to zero. I think it's daily, weekly, monthly. Ugly. Dollar Tree, wow, down $20. Wow. Wow. Remember I said yesterday, I used the same wow term when I said, look at the size of this gap down. And now I'm saying the same wow. Look at 129. That's a monster ugly gap. All right, I got GEHC here, the call spread idea. Let me put Dollar Tree here. I like that better. Now it's way too extended for me to be thinking short. I'm thinking day trade long on an intraday reversal and put spread, 30-minute high. That's my vanilla. Let's see if it sets up. But this GEHC, they're doing a secondary offering. This is the GE Healthcare. So that's a call spread idea at 92 if there's any juice. Bird, another OTC dollar stock, no interest. Ah, Bird, is that company that has the scooters? I think it is. Remember the Bird? They were all over Lauderdale. I don't know if you all remember this discussion when this went public. And I remember saying, look, because the stupid scooters were all over Fort Lauderdale here, hurting people, killing each other and shit. I hated them. Then the city finally banned them. I remember saying, you know what, based on fundamental analysis, I'd be looking to short the heck out of this company. Wow, did that work out? Sure hope the founders sold some in the strength there. Skin, Gap is $1,000. Man, that's a big number. All right, Skin would be a fantastic gapper if it were gapping here to like 385, 390, because look at the beautiful weekly chart. But for me, the gap's too big. Unless it can kind of hang out and give us a pattern after three, but that's the bullish gap. Purple, another, OTC thing, no interest. Tesla getting a downgrade. And this is, gapping down here. Yesterday's low, it's underperforming the fangs. Microsoft is outperforming, had a monster day yesterday, end of day base, and now it's continuing its strength pre-markets. Delta 20, what's my take on GPS swing long? Well, Delta 20, the obvious answer for a swing long is you totally missed your action. Today's Wednesday. You could have bought it Monday over Friday's high because it had a little gap down and then, you're off to the races. Now it's way too extended for swing entry, far from the 20. It is bullish though, daily, weekly, monthly. It's just for a swing. This is just not a good setup unless you just want to do 10 shares and I'm sorry, 10% of your lot and but day trades are always a different story. All right, MP got a downgrade. This was a sell setup. Still looks lower, so that's a day trade short idea. NUE got an upgrade, 186. Put spread idea. LDI had earnings. Looks like it's gapping down, but a little cheapo close. Wow, this is the fourth dollar over the counter stock earnings. That's garbage. There's that. We talked about SMCI. We talked about selling the out of the money naked calls yesterday. It's gapping down. After a little breakout failure, see on the 15-minute chart, this is pre-market data. So I'm even more confident now than I was yesterday. And I'll just caveat it with, wait 15 minutes. And then if it trades under the low, just go as far out as you can out of the money. And there's still juice for Friday. It's just totally jacked premiums. And that's what happens when something is in vogue. The bullish activity is keeping them jacked. MPA, yeah. I mean, I personally don't like the overlapping bars. But yes, Steve, daily, weekly, monthly are all in alignment. At 100% here, gone sideways 5 days. So that's rested. Looks good. Shoot, DXCM low alarm now. I had a low alarm at 136. All right, so it's opening relatively flat. I was hoping it was gonna gap way up and then we could tighten our stop. Make a sell alarm. All right, let's look at some leftover trades ideas from yesterday. WHD, I have an alarm at 47. IT, I'm hoping to get a 123. Marriott Vacation, the L we talked about. CDW is a breakout. Let me set alarm 250 spot 50. That looks good. All right, we can look at IG's trades here. We got a few minutes. All right, WAB. Yeah, I remember looking at that yesterday. Yeah, it's a 180 reversal. I would prefer a 123. Wicks gapping down, still trading range, needs more time. GMS, I'd like it to go sideways more. IBM, I'd like a 123. Texas Roadhouse, even though it's caught up to the 20, look at the 20 far from the 50, far from the 200. So it's still kind of borrowed time. So I like these other ones that are so much closer to support. So compare that. I actually compared Texas Roadhouse to L. Do you see how this one is so much tighter, close to the 2050 parallel, not extended? You see that? Major difference. So that one for me is just too, there's just so many other better ones, that's all. A-Rock, yeah, it's a retest. It's up here, so yeah, I like A-Rock. Dash, too sloppy for me. I just had an alarm, Alex, BBAI. We've been watching this for a turn, and it looks like the turn is happening right before our eyes. Like do you all remember going to the circus? And the circus, and they show you magic right before your eyes. This is the turn. So this looks really good. I'll put that in a window. Mattel is triggering. BBAI. Let's give it a few minutes to settle down. All right, Mattel triggered as a 1, 2, 3. There's nothing wrong waiting 5 minutes just so you don't get caught into, one little zinger. All right, cough, up alarm, looks great. We bought that yesterday. Let me set new alarm. 139.50 on the low side. The high side, 141.50. We have PSX. Oh, nice PSX. We are long stock at 150 spot 82. So we're up $3. So let's just sell a third, a $3 gain, just into strength. And stop break even. I'll, make these pretty later. I don't feel like messing with it right now. There. Tail cough L back half triggered. Val, Sam I am, that's your 1, 2, 3. Tyson, triggered back half. Hog. Hog was a gap down. Let me, hey, IIPR alarm. Remember, I love this pattern. Okay, so the second, third position is triggering. That's what that alarm was. And they don't have weeklies, unfortunately. So Val, Tyson, Hog, VLO. Q selling off. IWM ripping here. What's up with you? You know, ripping on the 5-minute chart. IWM, Qs. All right, those are, I got all the